All right, let's start with the top 10. Rams at number 1. The offense averaging 34 points per game. Injuries on the back end, though, with Marcus Peters and Aqib Talib on the shelf, Elliot.
Yeah, it's concerning there, no doubt. But I think top to bottom, this has been the best team in football through 3 weeks. They do have some depth in the secondary, but the offense is capable of scoring 30 points if the defense can't quite get it done.
They started high enough and they're undefeated. Elliot, you're fine there. I think the Rams have done a great job of finding ways to get different players involved. If it's Cooks, if it's Woods, if it's Kupp, if it's Todd Gurley, in offense, they've done a great job of getting everyone involved.
The Kupp runneth full. One surprising stat, the Rams D allowing 5 yards per carry so far this season. Chiefs at number 2. Pat Mahomes continuing to ball better than any other quarterback in football, Elliot.
He is, and I'll tell you, with Kansas City, all they need right now is a little bit of defensive help. If they go out and get Earl, all they need is their defense to be viable because their offense can score 35 points per game. But right now, they don't have to worry about it because other teams can't keep up with them offensively, so they keep winning. So I feel comfortable with them at 2.
Yeah, you know what? This team is playing so well that they made me my new Madden team. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, they got so many weapons. Mahomes is hitting everyone, hasn't turned the ball over yet. And again, if you're scoring points, you're putting your defense in a situation to be successful where they can just sit back and play against the pass and get picks and be opportunistic.
Big play after big play. How long is that sustainable for the number 2 team, the Chiefs, in Elliot's top 10? You can see the Vikings and the Dolphins rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, and I'd like to comment on the Saints real quick here, Dan. You know, I think they still have a lot of potential. Their defensive side of the ball just hasn't played well. When Mark Ingram comes back, he's going to help out with that by running the ball.
How about that team at number 5 in Carolina, looking pretty good this year? All right, so the Panthers jumping up 5 spots into the top 5. Maybe just a wee bit high for Carolina?
Maybe, but when you look at the middling performance of all these other teams around them, I'm comfortable with this because the way they've played. Now, Dan, you saw them take out the Bengals this week, but the loss they have was on the road. They had a chance at the end of that game.
Yes, they did.
And then week 1, the score may not have shown it, but they absolutely dominated the Cowboys. And by the way, run CMC, 184 yards on the ground.
First career 100-yard game. What do you think? You agree with number 5 for Panthers?
I do. One because we've never seen a quarterback like Cam Newton in this league. And when he gets going and he's wearing his foxtails and he's dressing all how he
what
dresses.
What does that have to do with anything?
It's called swag and confidence. And that kind of drips onto a couple people like you a little bit.
Yeah, like your new jeans.
When that drips onto people, guess what? You go 15-1 and you become MVP. And right now, he's playing like they did that year. He's starting to play better. That team's starting to play better. And they're getting some pieces back and they're getting healthy. Cam Newton is the ultimate equalizer. When you have some things down, he can still make good big plays.
Yeah, we're talking about their offense. I think the MO for this team is still playing good defensive football as well.
Yeah, Greg Olsen going to be back on that offense very soon.
Great.
He's ahead of schedule. Thomas Davis for the defense coming back soon as well from that 4-game suspension. Are the Panthers a top 5 team? You can vote on Twitter. Just hit us up at NFL Network. Or if you don't agree with anything that Elliot says, please use the hashtag NFL Power Rankings. He loves to hear from you, and so do MJD and I. All right, a possible season-saving victory for the Steelers last night as they held off the Bucs in Tampa. Big Ben, game on, 3 touchdown passes, and the defense making some timely plays to get Pittsburgh to 1-1-1 on the season. Elliot, you bumped the Steelers up 9 spots to number 7. Why so much?
I did. You know, here's the thing with Pittsburgh. It's the upside with this team. Kind of like what I talked about with the Saints when we were showing them. The thing with Pittsburgh is they can score. We know that. Okay, so they can stay with you if they're in a track meet. But the other side of this is they showed last night that when you get plays on the defensive side of the ball, that they can win. And, oh, by the way, we still have the Le'Veon Bell situation playing out. I think this team has proven it the last 3 years now.
You agree?
Yeah, you know what? What I do agree on is they're a top 3, top 2 offense. What I don't agree with is their defense, and defense wins championships. You have to play good ball. What we saw on Monday night was bad defense by the Bucs, bad defense by the Steelers, and the better offense prevailed. Okay, so in this situation, Pittsburgh's going to have to outscore everyone again, like they did last year, the rest of the year. So maybe they can do it, maybe they won't. I don't know, but they have to keep going. And Le'Veon is a big situation. Once he gets in, I think they become a better team.
Sounds like you believe that offense really good, the defense maybe not
so good.
So much. All right, 11 through 20 in the rankings look like this. Chargers at 11, Packers at 12, Patriots at 13. They're dropping way off, and you have the Browns at 7.
Yeah, and I see the Ravens there. I know that they won. Same with the Bears. Not totally impressive. Not sure what to do with the Ravens. I'm thinking they're an 8-8 team right now.
So the Packers fall 7 spots to number 12 after losing to the Redskins. The Pack now 1-1-1. Still at number 12, though, Elliot.
Yeah, now the Packers, I don't think, are an 8-8 team. I think they played on a sloppy field where their quarterback can barely move around. I will say the Clay Matthews call did not cost them this game. They got beat, no question about it. But so far, Green Bay has held the fort with a banged-up quarterback. And with Aaron Jones back in the lineup, MJD, I think they'll be able to run the football a little bit more.
Well, they have to. And let's remember, the Redskins have a really good defensive line. And that's what's given the Packers trouble. Defensive lines where you don't have to blitz. Getting pressure on the Aaron Rodgers with 3 rushers. And then defensively, we talked about their defense being better. They haven't shown us that yet.
Agreed.
They played in spurts, but they really haven't shown us being a better defense. So, again, it all relies on Aaron Rodgers. Is he worth being a top 10 team? Yes, but he has to be healthy and it has to be the right playing surface.
And that's why they're 12.
And the question is, when does he actually get fully healthy? Here's a look at 21 through 30. Lions, Broncos, 21 and 22. You see the Giants there at 25 and the Raiders at 30, Elliot.
Yeah, and also the Jets, Sam Darnold hype train has slowed down a little bit, as has the Case Keenum's going to totally change the Broncos' fortune hype train.
Well, give him some time. I'm still getting comfortable with everybody. Let's talk about the teams not listed there. 49ers at 31. They lost Jimmy G for the season. I don't anticipate them climbing much higher than that without their quarterback.
No, they went down 11 spots, and this wasn't about the Kansas City game. It's all about Jimmy G being out. Their season could be lost at this point. But MJD, I look at the bottom of my rankings, and I'm looking at the Cardinals right below them. What's going on with the way they use Josh Rosen, and does this team have a chance?
Well, first of all, you have to give Josh Rosen at least 3 or 4 spots. He's the chosen one. He's the guy that they're Yes, why not? Okay, and then the other thing is this: you have David Johnson, you have Larry Fitzgerald, you have Patrick Peterson in that defense. You have some pieces there they have to grow on. They just have to develop this offense to be around David Johnson, protect their young quarterback a little bit. Josh Rosen's been hit before in college; it's nothing new. He's never played with the Larry Fitzgerald before, so I think they'll be better.
Well, Fitzgerald's banged up, and part of protecting your quarterback, if it's 4th and 5 and the game's on the line,
call
timeout. Give him a chance.
Chosen Rosen. Where'd he go to college?
Yeah. UCLA.
Where'd you go to college?
The U.
Yeah. University
CLA.
of North Texas.
UCLA. Time for Power Player. Vikings-Rams on Thursday Night Football. Who do you have?
I'm going to go with Jared Goff. You have your defense banged up on the back end. You're going to have to score points. Continue to play the way you've been playing. People say you're a system quarterback. You're a game manager.
Come on.
Just keep winning. That's all you have to do. You keep winning, you'll be fine.
Those skinny posts and those 15-yard outs, he's so accurate.
And by the way, last time I sat down with Joe Montana 2 years ago, he said I was a game manager. It's okay to be a game manager. It's not okay to not watch this segment too high, too low.
My favorite one.
I have 3 teams for MJD. Eagles at number 3 is where we start.
Just right.
Too high?
No.
Too high?
No. Yeah, it's a little too high for me right now.
They're always too high.
Carson Wentz showed me a lot, but they're so banged up, man. Like I don't understand it. You have Dallas here who comes out and makes some plays at tight end.
Yeah.
And they're deep, but they struggled a little bit against the Colts.
They did. Well, the Colts have played everybody pesky.
Colts defense has been good.
But I will say that Darren Sproles is probably going to be back this week, and there's a chance Alshon Jeffrey could be back as well.
If they get those guys back, then we can revisit it. But right now, without having them, that's still too high.
Here's something I really don't understand, MJD. Redskins at 18.
Yeah, this is way too low. You're disrespectful. This is flat out disrespectful. This defense is balling. Okay, the number 2 defense in the league.
Except week 2.
Huh?
Nothing. Keep going.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
Week 2.
It happens.
Everybody has a slump every now and then, but they went against
We're only
Rodgers.
3 weeks in. You're already slumping.
Yeah, they had a little leeway.
Yeah, I moved them up 6 spots. I think
they need to be higher.
The host to team up.
They'll be in the playoffs if they keep playing. They may win the NFC East.
I
disagree with
you.
that.
They're playing pretty well. By the way, they have a bye week. Maybe that O-line gets a bit healthy. Staying in the NFC East.
Oh, come on.
Your Cowboys, Elliot, fall 5 spots to 24.
Yeah, this just about where they're supposed to be. It's right.
Oh, you're saying just right?
It's just right. It's just right. And this is my problem. We've seen Seattle play a ton of teams, and they looked horrendous. For some reason, you come out and the Cowboys just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah.
Zeke got going a little bit, but they couldn't throw the ball. They couldn't sack the quarterback. That's just not a winning recipe.
Listen, if you love 1935 offensive formations, the Cowboys are the team for you. Coming out there with wingbacks and 1 wide receiver. Hey, 185 yards is like Dan Fouts for them, you know. Can't throw the ball right now.
3 weeks in a row, Dak Prescott has not thrown for more than 170 yards. The last Cowboys quarterback to go 3 games throwing for 170 yards or less, Chad Hutchinson in 2002. That was 16 years ago. 16 years ago. The Saints, though, flying high in the ATL on Sunday. He is the power going out on the Falcons.
Dan, thank you so much. Listen,
1-2.
1-2 right now, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to take you on this roller coaster ride. So, the Falcons' defense is just ravished with injuries.
Nobody help.
No one's there. No one can play DN, both safeties, middle linebacker. So let's get it started. Can the Bengals win a shootout against the Falcons?
No Mixon, maybe no Green.
I say no. We'll give them the W there in Cincinnati. Now, you got to go to Heinz Field. And we just talked earlier about a track meet.
Yep.
Who has a track team?
Pittsburgh.
Yep, there you go.
Yep,
they're going to take a loss there to Pittsburgh. Now, this is where it gets crazy. You got Tampa Bay coming to you. They can score points, Elliot.
And Tampa's beaten Atlanta in the past. I think this is their season right here. I think they've got to get a win at home against the Bucs.
You know what? And I'm going to say an L because Mike Evans and Deshaun Jackson are balling now.
2-4.
Yeah, 2-4. Now you get the Giants. They're figuring things out. Odell's kind of getting the ball, but you're running the ball with Barkley. I say none of that matters. The Falcons still can score points. W here.
Wow,
they end up being 3-4. So the power is not going to be just out. But Matt Ryan, with all that money, you need to go pay some bills, man, because it's starting to flicker a little bit. We're a little nervous right now.
Here's a look at the top 10 once again. Rams and Chiefs, 1-2. Vikings and Dolphins rounding out your top 10. Time now for Balance of Power. This week, it's 2 AFC East rivals who just happen to be playing each other this week, gentlemen.
Yeah, Dan, you know what? First of all, is this the first time the Dolphins ever been in the top 10?
Not ever, but it's been a few years. I can tell you that.
Well, we know they're not going to get pass offense, so we're going to go ahead and give that to the Patriots and the GOAT.
I'm with you.
There's there.
Okay.
We'll come back to rush offense. Pass defense. Patriots have struggled, so we're going to give that to the Dolphins.
Gotta be the Dolphins
right away. Rush defense. The Patriots just gave up 100 yards to the Lions, who haven't had a 100-yard rush in I don't know how long.
1946.
So we'll give that to the Dolphins as well. Coaching. You know the deal. You want me to say it for you? If you got the ring, you get the ding. We'll give that to the Patriots.
Okay.
There we go. Bill Belichick has 5 of those.
So back to this.
Rush offense. Now, I really like the Patriots rush offense. They have a lot of runners. You're going to get upset. I'm going to say James White. But Sony Michel came in, did a great job. Rex Burkhead did a really good job. They're finding ways to get their rhythm back. They have to find a way.
Sony Michel did a great job.
He had some really good runs against the Lions.
Anytime I try to bring up James White, you always say he's a pass receiver.
But he ran the ball, too.
Kenyon Drake, Frank Gore, more traditional running backs. We are talking about rushing offense. Not a great game last week. I think they give their defense a little bit more of a blow on the sideline.
Well, we have to see because they didn't do it. Now, the Patriots do give them a ton on the run, but you know what? This is my segment, so we're going to do what I want to do anyways. We're going to give it to the New England Patriots. And yes, it shows.
It's close.
The Patriots, it is close, but the Patriots are better than the Dolphins. Now, do I have them winning? You have to stay tuned for more later on in the show. It's in New England. It's tough. And New England always finds a way to get the job done. Dan.
All right. I love how he claimed that was his segment. I think I saw you in the segment, too.
Yeah, he always does that.
It happens. Let me get my
Dolphins,
spot.
one of just a handful of teams that don't touch my face. Made the big leap up the rankings this week. Let's look at a couple others in contenders or pretenders. Browns up 7 spots to number 20. Elliot, contender or pretender?
You know what, man? I'm going to go contender here. Now, MJD said at the beginning of the year they're going to win 10 games. I think they might win 8, but they could sneak in that 6th spot. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to say 9 because they got a tie.
I like their defense, man.
I think they'll be fine.
I think they're going to win this week. A very winnable game in Oakland. Lions up 9 spots to 21. MJD, contender or pretender?
You know, this game, they played really well against the New England Patriots, but let's remember that Matt Patricia was there for 14 years. He knows their personnel. Yeah, he knows their personnel. He knows their schemes, their secrets. They're supposed to win this game. I'm going to say they're a pretender.
Supposed to?
Yes. I mean, you have all the you have all the answers to the test.
Bill Belichick had all the answers for him. He taught him everything he knew. Why should he expect the pupil to beat the teacher?
Because the pupil always has something different for the teacher. But I'll say this. I don't see Detroit
6 and 10.
Yeah, I don't. There you go.
Say what you think.
Yeah, 6 and 10.
6 and 10, Dan.